Is that a shard you found? Here, let me see it, so that I may help you. To see light, to see hope, however faint it might be.
I knew you. I'll be around if you make it back.
Leave me be. I like it quiet. Leave me be. What business have you here, traveller? You may call me Vengarl, if I deserve a name in this sorry state. 'Tis rare to flap these gums. This is pleasant. Long ago, I was hired to defend the kingdom. I remember a long, brutal fight, and then somebody killed me. Or so I thought. I came to and found myself like this. I don't know what explains it, but it's not so bad, really. Now I watch the days go by and gaze at the night sky, thinking of the finer things, far removed from war. I'd grown weary of battle, but did not realize it until now. I know not what brings you on this journey, nor will I deign to ask. You may bear a great burden, don't we all? I prefer to stay my distance. But I want to warn you of something. My body. I see visions. My body, headless, raging without me. My body wielding my sword, a sword forged only to kill. My body will show no mercy. If you see the wretched thing, stay far away. I learn new things every day. Things never learned in battle. And, thanks to you, I've recalled the joy of conversation. If I can help you, if you require something, Do speak up. I cannot lie. Sometimes I wonder what's become of the kingdom. I was a hired hand, yes, but we soldiers stared death in the eye together. And for His Highness, I am afraid. But perhaps it's for the best. We knew not what we fought for. I was born in Farossa, a land in the distant east. When I was born, we were already mired in prolonged conflict with our neighbors. Eventually, our kingdom fell, and our people scattered. I've been a sellsword ever since. All I ever knew was war, and I can imagine no other way to live. What a fool I was. I am grateful for these peaceful days. But such contentment lies only in the here and now. Why must life be so confounding? Farewell. May we meet again, one day soon.
We've now stumbled across the disembodied head of Vengarl of Farossa, and I have to say he has quite the interesting story. As we heard from his dialogue, he was once a ferocious warrior on the battlefield, but now, because of the situation he finds himself in, he just wants a peaceful existence and dreams of the finer things in life. Vengarl can help us with certain boss fights, but in order for him to do so, we have to stop his raging body, which is out there somewhere in Drang Lake. It's actually relatively close by in Scholar of the First Sin, just so long as you have a fragrant branch of yore, so we won't have to go too far to look for it. There is a bit more story on Vengarl, though, and it's explored in some of his item descriptions. Vengarl's armor reads, Armor of the ferocious Vengarl of Farossa. Vengarl was known as a raging, deadly warrior. Even Farossa's Lion Knights, a motley crew of rabid fighters, kept him at arm's length. So it sounds like Vengarl was a true berserker warrior on the battlefield and would be overtaken by bloodlust and cut down anyone that got in his way. And he would use weapons such as the aptly named Red Rust Sword. Straight sword of the warrior Vengarl of Farossa. This sword is battle-worn and terribly rusted, but remains a deadly weapon owing to its incredible weight. Legend has it that it was built to test the limits of the strength of the Farossa Knights, until Vengarl swung it like a wooden plaything, claiming ownership by demonstration. So this bit of lore here shows how strong Vengarl was. He could wield these incredibly heavy weapons and armor and just tear through opponents, and he made even his own men that he fought alongside fear him just because of his incredible strength and ferocity. That was until he was killed and was somehow brought back as a head detached from his body. Once we find Vengarl's body and defeat it, Vengarl will be able to help us out with certain boss fights later on in the game, and he's a pretty great companion. This misty forest we're in right now is known as the Shaded Woods, and I have to say it's probably one of the most nerve-wracking areas of Dark Souls 2. As you can see, every so often you're attacked by these invisible warriors. You can see faint outlines of them if you look carefully, but you can't lock onto them, so it makes fighting them a whole lot more difficult. And if these phantom soldiers manage to backstab you, you're as good as dead, because that move hurts so much from these guys. As far as I know, there's actually no real lore behind the invisible warriors here. I think they were either conjured up by magic or they were put under some sort of curse, and that's why they're invisible in this area. It might have something to do with the trees that have faces in the Shaded Woods. That's at least my theory, is that they're either protecting these trees or the trees were somehow placed a curse upon these warriors. So there's something shady going on in the Shaded Woods, and it makes this area very creepy and very difficult to get through, at least safely. The Shaded Woods are always one of the areas I dread to go through, not because I think it's badly designed or anything like that, but just because I think it's creepy and it's very dangerous. It always puts me on edge very much, so I think it's a cool and unique area, but a very scary one at the same time. The Shaded Ruins are home to these Lion Clan warriors, who are one of the most unique enemies across the Dark Souls series. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the only game in the series where we get some form of humanoid beast warrior. But the Lion Clan warriors, aside from a cool design, also have some pretty nifty lore. Cape worn by Lion Clan warriors. The Lion Clan are an offshoot race that have no ties to humans, and would murder anyone with a curious notion of approaching them. The Lion clansmen seem to despise their own looks, as they hate being seen. So this clan of these lion warriors is very secretive, and they have a very tribal look to them, which I think is interesting. But curiously enough, a lot of them in this area have been petrified. Now in vanilla Dark Souls, the culprit was clear because there was a giant basilisk in this area, but it's not here now, but there are some basilisks who still remain in the Shaded Ruins. So I think at some point or another, they must have had a run-in with these lion warriors, and that's why so many of them are petrified. I personally think one of the more fascinating elements of the Lion Clan warrior is actually discussed in their shield. Shield used by the Lion Clan warriors. Made of wood, but reinforced with metal. Light, yet sturdy. The design on the shield appears to have some religious significance, but we will never know what sort of gods these warriors answer to. Now I think that last bit there is really fascinating, as it makes me really curious as to what gods these lion warriors truly worship, because it seems like there's almost an emblem of the sun on the shield, which we would think would mean Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight, but because these lion warriors are so secretive and have seldom made contact with humans, it's very possible that this is a god, a different god entirely, one who either exists or one they choose to believe exists, but doesn't actually exist within the universe of Dark Souls. So I think the Lion Clan warriors, in addition to being cool enemies, have some really fascinating lore behind them.
Just wait, you dirty rat. I remember you. Don't you scare me like that. I thought you were him. That bastard with the ring lives in Brightstone Cove down the way. I'm gonna find him and settle the score. Nobody insults me like that. For the good of the world and for my own honour, I won't let that bastard live another day.
And we've now met Crichton the Wanderer, or Crichton of Mira, for a second time, and we're seeing that the story of Crichton and Pate is coming to a head. Crichton says that Pate is in Brightstone Cove, which is just a little bit beyond the Shaded Ruins, so the two of them will be meeting very soon. And when they meet, we will reach the conclusion and final choice of the storyline of mild-mannered Pate and Crichton the Wanderer.
Who are you again? No, I'm not serious. You do have a rather pleasant scent. A type I'm quite fond of. Satisfied? I'll be around if you ever come back.